Sorry about that. We had some issues with the internet there. Like I said earlier, my guest today is Babukar Jeng. He is an aspirant presidential candidate. He wants to run for president come December. He was there in 2018 when he wanted to run for the office of the mayor of the Kanifi municipality. This year, he has also made his intention known to run for president. Thank you and sorry for that, Mr. Jeng.
It's okay.
Yes,
It's all right.
that was our internet there. So this is a very important conversation. You are someone who would be joining at least 20 people so far who have all indicated their desire to run for president. For you, why do you want to run for president?
Actually, like I say, what really motivated me is the way the system is and the way our government operates. And I feel that everything that society is going through is because of the results, of whatever is going in that institution. Because I believe that government is a machinery, and if the machinery works, everything works.
Yes.
But if the machinery does not work properly, I think we're going to see the results in society. That's the reason why we see all sectors across the board, the farming sector, the security sector, the other sectors that government is manning. We see the results that society is going through, is suffering from. So my motivation, like I said earlier on, is connected to, knowledge, knowing, and skills development, how, and the desire, and my desire is connected to patriotism, my love for country, so this is my motivation. And I mentioned earlier on, how nations and how nations deal with crisis and change. If you read that book, you will know where we are. And having 20 people running for office, I think what we will be thinking of, whether IEC will be able to handle it financially, but it's either we pay two prices, we either pay the price financially or we pay the price with something else that's more drastic, so these things are normal, and everybody that comes out, and asks for the country, I think what the Gambian people should do is just to give you a listening ear, let them listen what you have for the country, and how are you going to run the country, and at the end of the day, they are the ones to make decision.
But who is Babukar Jeng? I mean, someone might be watching this and don't even know you. I mean, and now you want that person to put you in office. Who are you?
Actually, I am one of them, Gambians, and I was born and brought up here. I was born, in Banjul in 1979. Now I'm 42, I'm getting old.
Yes.
And we moved to Serakunda, where I did my youth, say, and all my schooling, and have the chance to travel to South Africa, to do some, theology, like really religious studies, the Quran. And after that came back, have the desire,
Yes.
to enter into activism, like social activism, identifying problems and trying to bring solutions in my own way, at my own level, engaging, institutions, engaging individuals whom I believe in, who are like-minded people, because I believe in synergy, and through that I've been, doing a lot of activism until 2018. I converted the engine that I was trying to build, into a bigger one, from my activism, because I was protesting at the dump site,
Yes.
looking at waste management and, looking at the realities behind waste management. And I went in for the mayoral and eventually, saw myself here right now vying for president. It's not a surprise to me because my path was clear and my vision was clear. I know where I was heading to. I just allowed myself, to learn in the process, to observe, to identify, to associate, and between 2018 and now, I established a lot of things. One is Gambia First. I am the founder of Gambia First, and Gambia First, gave birth to single mother scheme, you know, like I told you, you know, attacking the problems, you know, and trying to create like solutions, immediate solutions, like force aid, you know, because I think people right now, they need force aid solutions, you know, and sustainable, you know, solutions and practical solutions. And the way I do things, like I say, I don't do things to people or for people. I do things with people. I engage, identify, associate, connect, relate, and consult, you know, because every aspect of life have people that have knowledge, and I value knowledge, regardless of where I'll have to pick the knowledge from. That's the reason why I vie as an independent candidate, so that I can look at UDP and see somebody there that has knowledge and engage him regarding what Gambia is suffering from. Look at APRC, see someone who has the knowledge and wherewithals, and connect to GDC or any political party or individual, see them as Gambians, and connect and, you know, get, guidance from them if they have the right knowledge. Because I believe with synergy, we can, you know, get the energy that we need to move this country, because it's not an individual game. There's no human being on the face of the earth who have all knowledge of what we're going through. It has been shared.
So activism has always been the thing for you. That is what you've been into throughout.
Yeah.
Before you decided to go into politics.
Actually, activism, reading and writing. I just recently wrote a book called The Way We See the Problem is the Problem.
The way we see the problem is the problem.
Yeah, and inspired by Thomas Paine, you know.
Now you wanted to run for mayor. I remember you even taking part in a debate of mayoral candidates. But at some point you aborted your plan. You collapsed your plan and then joined Papanjaya, I guess. And now here you are. Now you want to go for the bigger prize, the bigger role, the bigger office of president. I mean, if you look at what is happening in the country today, you have more than 20 people all wanting that same position, that same role. I mean, I would say you are pretty much new into this. You have those that are there, leaders that are there, that have been there long enough. These are the people that you would be contesting against. What is your plan? How do you want to achieve this?
Actually, I will be very bold and honest with you. When I was going in for the mayoral 2018, I had little experience. I was the Google type, you know, and I had confidence, but not competence. So when I touched the ground and felt my, my inner self, I was true to myself. I said to myself, look, you are not ready yet. I just looked around and see who has the philosophy that I have, so that I can connect. Like I told you, I'm a synergist. I saw that Papanjaya was an independent candidate. I wasn't interested in his mindset then. I just wanted to connect to an independent candidate so that we can connect together, because I knew what I wanted. You know, but I didn't have enough knowledge to follow that path. Looking at today, I've been here long enough to observe, and as somebody who has the love, you know, for books, reading, I felt that you don't need to be here long enough, you know, for you to be able to know and understand the issues that is affecting the country. If you see, we keep repeating things over and over again, every time thinking that this time it will be different. And with that, we are not facing the reality. You know, like Gambia, since independence to now, how many years? It's a long time.
Yes.
We have to see results. So I'm not convinced with what I see. And I believe that if we give anybody else,
yes,
you know, from the political parties that I see,
yes,
history is just going to repeat itself, because at the end of the day, it's just like fight or flight. One political party gets into power, owns the government, and favoritism comes in, nepotism comes in, and the other political parties get jealous, and all they do is create that gravity.
Yes.
They will not be able to walk.
Yes.
So we are just running around one circle, round and round and round. It's just fighting. And what happened is, any government that gets into power gets distracted with their responsibilities and start focusing on their opposition, because they're receiving, you know, fires all over.
But this is how it obtains everywhere in the world. Every government you see, I have so far, even if you go to the West, their leaders all come from a particular political organization.
Can you show me anywhere in the world where there is stability?
But, I mean, what people
Globally,
want,
we all watch the news.
Yes.
Can you show me anywhere in the world? United States is one of the most powerful countries in the world. And the likes of Obama came in with a brilliant manifesto
But he
on
came,
how
he came
wants
through a party.
on how he wants to run the country. Let me land. But when he got into power, it was chaos for him. The opposition didn't leave him, and the realities that he found there were too overwhelming at the end of the day. He serves, and now he's gone. Donald Trump comes in. So it's just one routine. If we want to learn, we have to learn from what works. Not only because it's the West. We can do it. Not because they are white. They are not smarter than us. They are not more intelligent than us. We just need to break away from mentality. Because if you look at my manifesto, I say the key to a healthy nation is to align the social will with the value system and the principles of togetherness. People come together in minds and feelings and preferences. We all need to put country first, and we need to involve the right people in the process, because you're looking at human beings. We are spiritual beings having human experiences, not the other way around. So we have people that have the wherewithals, not only because of probably, we just don't have to bank with people that have been to university and have degrees and been to school. We have people that haven't gone to school, and they have the talent, they have the experience, they have love for country. This is the power that we need to bank on. It's not money. You see how much money did Gambia owe? It's a lot of money, but it's not reflecting in the lives of people. Where is all that money gone? And what's money? It's paper printed. It circulates and it consolidates. People collect it and share it with goods and services. That's where we all fall in, as fathers, as husbands, who need to pay rent, buy food, buy cash power, pay the fees of our kids, take them to the hospital. So money is collection and distribution. We all find ourselves in the midst of this rubble. But who is in control? Money doesn't have life. We do. We are in charge. But if we are weak mentally, we are weak spiritually, and we are weak emotionally, we will be like animals in the jungle. That's the reason why you see all the fuss and fight. Nations go to war and kill innocent people. Blood is spilled. Only because of what? Survival. I see government as an institution where human beings are.
Now take us through your master plan. How do you want to go about it? That was the question. The question is, you have politicians who have been around long enough, all wanting the same exact job. You also want the job of president. What is your plan? What is your game plan?
Actually, my master plan is, like I said, prognosis first. My 100 days of office, I am going to engage. Engage what? I'm not going to engage government. I'm going to engage the people within the system. They are the parts of the machinery.
Is the people.
What's government? Government is just a set of protocols and procedures and systems in place. Right now, at nightfall, where does government go?
Home.
It lies down there.
It's the people.
The people go home. Now we separate the people from the machine, that is the system. The people are part of a system. Now we focus on the individuals who are fathers, who are husbands, who are a member of the society. They go back home and go and face the challenges that they themselves put out there unknowingly, only because of that survival neuron in their brains. I will engage them and I will break it down. You have different sectors in government. Every sector, I will lay down my priorities. I will lay down my priorities, and they are priority among priorities. We all look at it together. We engage each other. There shouldn't be any threat in between us. They shouldn't see me as a threat. Somebody who's coming into the government and just, pack them all and like carrots and dump them into the dustbin because they're not doing things right. No. As a leader, you have to identify what right things are and ask them, the managers, they have to do the right things. So me as a leader, I am the one who is going to build the wall that the ladder is going to lay, so that there will be smooth and effective movement within the system. And at the end of the day, I would create advisors,
Yes,
who have the technical competence, who will relate and communicate. In every sector, you'll find people who are competent enough technically to be able to give you advice as a leader. I'm not going to run the country alone. I am going to run the country with the layest man in society to be able to connect. I should work with the municipalities. I will break that barrier between municipalities. There's no communication. And they're interlinked. Central government and local government are interlinked. But why are they not working together? Simply because of politics. Partisan. It will not work. Once we have these barriers there, it will not work. So I will engage and communicate. We're all humans.
now in a country where people tend to align themselves to various political groupings, organizations, here you are wanting to be president, but you want to do it by being an independent candidate. How do you go about navigating that? Because Gambians already, you talk to one or two Gambians, they will tell you, I belong to this political party. And that is it for them. They don't care whether that party has any ideas or not. They don't care. They are just members of that party, and then that is it. How do you go about around that? Because
Actually,
you need their support to be able to win this election.
Actually, I respect the fact that people are getting involved into politics, aligning themselves with political parties. I will not blame them. It's just the level of their knowledge and the level of understanding the issues around us. I will quote during the impasse, when we were in a situation, what happened? Parties came together and they sacrificed being a political party, and they chose one candidate as an independent candidate to run the affairs of the country to get us out of a situation.
Yes.
Right now, with my analysis, Gambia have to sit down and rethink. Are we not in a more critical situation? We are on a very unstable ground.
Why?
Look at the security level right now. How many murders have occurred?
Well, police is saying it is going down.
How many rape? How many people are abusing drugs and alcohol?
In the case of rape, murder, for example, police said in the first quarter of
Can you allow me to reach my destination?
Of course, you will get there.
Actually, this is statistics. They will never come out with the truth.
So they will
Society, I'm not saying they're lying, but when it comes to information, they play safe. Remember, we are in the arena of elections. We are in the era of elections. And government is just one body, interlinked. People that come out there and give us information,
Yes.
I have respect for them. But the reality is, we are in a socio-economic crisis and security dilemma. Sometimes it aches my heart when I go out there and see the ECOMEC soldiers and the Senegalese soldiers like we are in a war situation.
You don't like that?
It's not about liking. It aches my heart. Why are we having them here still? It doesn't tell well.
Because the transition is still going on. It's not
exactly.
Yet done.
We are on a very unstable ground. Right now, the Gambia needs a savior. Someone who will bring people together. We have it
in our... Is that savior you? Let's clear that. Is that savior you?
Actually, the savior is the master of the universe who inspires.
But but you are confusing me, and maybe you are confusing the listeners. You said the Gambia needs a savior.
The
Gambian people are going in December are going to rely on one man.
Yes.
To save this country. You would be one of those people who would be there.
Yes.
To ask Gambians to vote for them. I am asking you whether you are the savior. I'm not talking about the ultimate savior. Well, we are not.
The reason
we are talking about Gambia.
The reason why the reason why I took that path and tell you the master of the universe,
Yes.
actually is just through my humility, because I believe in God, in Allah. I believe that power lies in His hands, but I believe that He has inspired me. And I have a conviction, I have the confidence and the competence to be able to get Gambia in the situation that we are right now, psycho-emotionally and spiritually, and attacking the environment that breeds all these things that you're seeing around us that are an eyesore. What we are seeing is an eyesore. We don't want to see this. The language that we hear from our politicians, our current politicians, is very disturbing.
Let me put it this way. What kind of leader does the Gambia need as we speak?
A leader who has self-awareness, a high level of consciousness of country, a deep level of spirituality, fear of God, and trust in Him. You see, the American dollar bill, what do they say? In God we trust.
Do you have all those qualities, Mr. Jang?
Actually, that's for society to judge.
But you have to tell the people.
You don't sing.
You have to tell the people.
You don't sing. You don't sing your qualities, but you sing your policies and programs, your interaction and connection with society. Society can tell. Is for society to judge. This platform is too short. The time is too short for us to be able to get into the hearts and the minds of society for them to judge. But there are people out there whom we interacted with. You see, when it comes to the law of concentration, you focus on your energies. You focus on the immediate people that you're connected to. And you duplicate and advocate. Each one teach one. Our programs are so realistic. And they are so powerful. And it involves everyone. And don't get me wrong, this is a crusade. Every Gambian within and abroad, if you have love for country, now is the time for us to take back our government and put it in the right hand, which is the individual sitting right here.
That's you.
Inshallah.
That's the right hand there. So Mr. Jang is saying he is the right hand. I mean, it's going to be really interesting. You have over 20 men. Gambians would be out there in December to choose among these men. Mr. Jang would be part of those men. But in your manifesto, you, dubbed Gambia First. In fact, how did that name come about? The name of Gambia First
Actually,
as manifesto.
Gambia First is all about patriotism, putting country first. Because as individuals, we have different interests. And all this interest is connected to probably ourselves, our circumstances, our families. Because actually, you come into work, there's a reason for it, isn't it? You come into work because you have responsibility. At the end of the month, you get paid. And you take your money to your family and you survive. And if everybody focuses on survival and we neglect country, what's going to happen? We're going to see ourselves in ruins. You will not come to work in the first place. If everybody leaves the Gambia and go outside and abroad, establish a life and live your life, we all give back to a country that gives back to us, what's going to happen? We're going to be overthrown. That's the reason why you have too many people from foreign, taking over our business sector. Because where are the Gambians? Where are the Gambians?
In your manifesto, you said, my vision for Gambians is of an optimistic, self-confident, and prosperous nation with a strong and thriving society in which mutual trust and economic opportunities exist for all, irrespective of their background. I will place people at its center. Their hopes and their concerns will drive my policies and programs. What do you exactly mean here?
Actually, like I told you, I believe in people. I'm people-driven. I feel that every answer that we need for Gambia to be where it is supposed to be is within people, Gambians themselves. Nobody can do it for us. That's why involving people is one of the things that I prioritize. Yes. People of substance, people of knowledge. And it's going to be an operation that we're not going to leave anyone. Because every single human being that you see on the face of the earth is gifted with one thing or the other. We just need to identify their talents, marry it with skills, and create the opportunities so that Gambia can go to the next level. And regarding the economic circumstance, we've been told lies for a long time that Gambia depends on only groundnut and farming, whilst Gambia have natural resources. Through my findings, based on facts and authenticity, Gambia has 65 mineral deposits across the country.
What are those minerals?
Actually, we have gold, we have ilmenite, we have rutile, and all these things, they have economic benefits. And we have a certain...
Where can a Sarakule man like me find gold? Where do I go to? Which part of Gambia do I go to?
Actually, you've been deprived of information. All of us are kept in the dark.
But you have the information now. I want you to help me. Where do
Actually,
I find it?
this platform probably can be too tight for us to dive into such information.
But it's a platform of transparency and accountability. You are a political leader.
It's a platform. It's a platform that is too tight. Actually, when you need such information, look forward for my programs. I will release them one after the other with authenticity, because I have the information, and not only information per se, but I have a document that reveals the 65 mineral deposits that Gambia has.
Now, I mean, I know sometimes when one wants to, compete in an election, it takes time, it takes a lot of resources, it takes a lot of activity. Now, it's just 7 months or 6 months to election. This is the time you are coming out. I have seen people who want to run but run independent, but they came out last year, some year before last was when they came out to start their movement, to start introducing themselves to Gambians, to say, hey, look, I am running for president. You are doing this at the death, if you like. Why do you, the timing of your announcement, of your announcement, what do you make of that? Don't you think it's too little, too late, given consideration to all the movement that has been happening? People already deciding which party to vote for.
Actually, I don't count time. I make time count. I have been busy working on society, on the hearts and the minds of the people. And if you understand the dynamics of politics, you don't count time, but you make time count. It's hearts and minds. There is not a single political party that you go and you find them, they have a mind bank or a heart bank, or they find you a box that say, okay, the whole of Serekunda, their minds are right here. All the minds are open, the eyes are open, and the ears are open. And we have enough time to sing those qualities that make us unique to take this country. Right now, we are on a platform. How many people are listening? And everybody that is listening out there, they have conscience. If they're true to themselves and they hear what I'm saying, they will know that it's from a sound mind and a convinced heart. And what is out there, if we start coming out to the people, on the 12th of June, I'll do my declaration at Coco Ocean. And from there, we start engaging at a higher level. All we do is concentrate, engage, and we duplicate. From Khartoum to Koina. The way I see human beings, we're all the same. We're only different in hearts and minds. All you do is feed the hearts and minds to get what you want. And I'm not selfish. I'm not trying to buy votes. I'm not trying to buy human beings to put me up there, and at the end of the day, the gap is there. You've forgotten. I want to make every person who who votes for me so that your vote can count. You are voting not for me, you're voting for Gambia. You're voting for your child. You're voting for the posterity, for the last baby that is going to come. The philosophy is clear and it's real, it's sincere. Let Gambians wake up.
Do you have a team that you are working with? Do you have a team, or
course.
this is just a one man?
I have teams.
Can you talk to us about that?
Actually, war is strategy. War is strategy.
Is this war?
Gambia don't need to know my team. I'm speaking. I'm just giving a synopsis. Like, war is strategy. You don't disclose your strategies to your opponent. They are not my enemies, but we all are heading to one direction. There are certain things that I would disclose. There are certain things I would hold it to myself. And I will give thumbs up to my team. Because at the end of the day, we have a very effective teamwork. And I'm someone who is part of them, who listens to them. I am the leader, but they're the managers. I just identify the wall, and they bring the ladder for me to climb. So that's all we do.
In terms of, I know you've been around. In terms of the country and all the decisions that have been made or are being made since this new, well, it's not a new government anymore. Since Barrow came to power back in 2016-17, what we saw is that this is going to be a transition, a period of a lot of changes, transformation, reform programs, a new constitution, the TRRC, Transitional Justice Program, and other things. In terms of that, as someone now who is a political leader, looking back, and seeing how things look at the moment, what can you tell us in terms of what would be your opinion in terms of how things have gone? Are you impressed at all? We don't have a new constitution. This was one of the plans, but we don't have that.
Actually, like a young man like yourself, like every young man that is out there, every old woman that is in the house, everybody is feeling the environment. Everybody is feeling the atmosphere. Things are not going the way they're supposed to be. But I'm not the finger-pointing type or the blame type. I analyze. We have people that came together and gave certain promises. Promises probably they did not look at. Promises they couldn't keep. When they went into governance, they found realities. They didn't communicate these realities because they stuck themselves with the promises they made to the people. Mm-hmm. They played safe because probably they didn't want to disappoint the people. And the mistake they made was they didn't come out with the reality. When you're leading a people, you have to learn to tell them the truth. You have to be sincere. Even if they're going to chop you into pieces, even if you're going to die in the cause, you have to be real and tell the people the reality and the truth. Like to change or to go through a transition, yes. It's not a switch, a switch results. Like you switch your light on and off. It's not that quick. There are realities that you have to face. And within their midst, there wasn't that unity of heart and mind. Each and every one of them had their own agendas, God knows what. And we saw a united force, and we all trusted that unity. Mm-hmm. But the first thing that we start seeing was they started falling apart. Until today, all we see is character assassination, finger pointing, blaming each other. None of them is taking responsibility. We saw them as a group. So we're not going to see them as individuals anymore. We will always see them as a group. The fragment from the group is always part of the group. We put them all in one box that the situation that we are in right now, they put us in it. And it's only the Gambian people that can take us out of this because we put them in power. And we are the very ones that can remove them out of power for our own good. But things are not working, and things will not work in their midst, and things will never work in their midst because they have shown us what they can do.
Now, the sectors. I know I went through your manifesto last night. I mean, you talked about all the various sectors and your plans for some of those sectors, the education sector, the health sector, the youth, arts and culture, tourism, almost all the sectors really. But in terms of some of the major sectors, let's, for example, take the economy, for example. What does a young government has in terms of plan in turning around the state of our economy? What would a young government do if you come to power in December? What would you do to make sure that Gambians have improved lives, cost of living, their lives improve in terms of living, but not just that, in terms of making sure the economy is fixed?
Actually, at this point in time, there's this book I am trying to, I have got into, it's been with me for a long time. It's called Instruments of Economic Policies in Africa. It was written by Alan Rowe, and it captured certain countries like Senegal, Mali, Tanzania, and the Gambia. And it was in 1985. There was something we call ERP, Economic Reform Program. And when I looked at it, and with the creativity that God has blessed me with, I look at the situation of the economy now, right now. It needs recovery. You find all sorts of brilliant ideas when it comes to like reformation, because we've been hearing like reformation. And whatever is being reformed, I will find it there. Outside the reality, outside of government,
Yes.
I'll be able to see only little. But I have a program, ERP, Economic Recovery Program. Because right now, at this point in time, looking at COVID-19, we have plunged into so many economic crises, which needs a critical look at, so that we can stimulate the economy back. Looking at the different sectors that really needs to be stimulated. And with things like
what
this,
would your recovery program entail?
actually, I will engage. I will launch a summit, like an economic summit, where I will engage people, both within and abroad. We have experts in this field that we will bring on board, that we will look at the economy critically, and we look at it globally, what's happening around the globe, and we bring it down here. Money is printed. Gambia buys our money. And we just need to make sure that we look at these sectors like the foreign exchange rate, and we look at budget deficit and financial liberalization. And these are issues that we can take a look at and dive and go deep into. Actually, as a leader, I will not be lost because I am highly informed. I don't leave myself like that for people to think for me. Actually, I have an idea of how a lot of things work,
Yes.
Regarding the economy.
How about the debt component of our economy? What would you do with that?
Actually, as debts, we need to pay these debts.
How are you going to pay these debts?
Actually,
when you don't even
first
have
of all,
enough money to
to
fund your government?
First of all, these debts are flexible. We just have a payment plan for these debts, and we look at all the critical areas that needs to be stimulated. That's the reason why I told you I will bring an army. We look at the economy critically, and we look at production and production capability to be able to see how best to involve, engage, create resources, generate them, generate money. Even if we have to print money from here, we will print the money from here. For me, I just don't understand why do we have to buy our money.
You don't have
from
the
outside.
machines. You don't have
Actually,
the
these machines,
Yes.
they have a cost. Are they not for sale, or are there any restrictions? Actually, it's deep.
That is what
When-
you need to find out as a political
When
leader.
you cannot find it out right here, you need to be part of the system to be able to understand a lot of things. You need to be able to engage people who are sincere, people who have knowledge, people who want to die for this country, people who want to serve the country, people who have love for country, both within and abroad. Right now, like I say, I have an initiative, part of what I do, connecting to the economy. It's called PART, P-A-R-T, patriotic allegiance, responsibility, tax. This part is going to be, like I say, condamné. It's like a coin box, where every Gambian that has the heart to help the country. You see, right now, we need a savior, like I told you, and we need to get out of this, and it's everybody's business. We have business tycoons, we have businessmen. Right there, they're employing people. And as a government, I will give them tax incentives. I will make tax so light on them. So light on them. Because I will sift my government, I will sift this government system from taxation to production. We can do it. We just need to identify what and how, and we involve the right people.
Here is the thing, or the problem with that. A country that is reliant on tax, you want to, break that and turn to production. But production, you need to fund that. Where are you going to get that money?
Actually, everything goes through a process. It's not going to happen overnight. And actually, my job here is to put the country on the right path until everybody sees, because seeing is believing. I will involve and engage the right people. We have business tycoons. We have smart businessmen, educated businessmen who saw the problem and who knows what to do. You involve them and engage them. You're just not going to leave it to the Minister of Finance. It's going to be too tough for him. It's too big a responsibility. They cannot handle it alone. It's everybody's business. We build teams around. If you see these business people are afraid to do anything with government, it's only because of politics. There's a barrier, there's an abstract barrier in between the business sector and the businessmen and Gambians who have the wherewithals, who have the pockets, who have the minds to help this country. There is blockage because people that tend to get into government tend to own the government. Yeah. They turn it into a club. They turn it into a club, bring in people, connect them to government, create, loot and share.
That's what they do?
They create, loot and share. That has been the case for a long time because there are realities in there. Like the Wolof say, they could have tedekai, teligay la. Today, when you look at government officials, they spend few time in government and they start building houses that their salaries cannot afford. Their lives start changing. The lives of their families start changing. Where are they getting all that money? Where is it coming from?
You think they're stealing money? Is that what you think?
Look at the cars.
Is that what you think?
That's corruption.
You think they are stealing money?
That's corruption. That's corruption.
That's what they are
doing. God knows how they get these monies. But if you evaluate the salary of probably a minister and the benefits the minister has, and you look at the car the minister's wife is driving, the house that the minister is living, we can evaluate. That's the reason why I'm going to have an ethic committee. I'm going to have an ethic committee who is going to look into the lives of the people that I work with. It does not have to be like that.
How is that going to be different from the anti-corruption agency? Because, that is one thing that...
It's a body that we will work with. They have their own terms and conditions. All we do is create a technical assistant to them. It's not that we don't trust. As a president, I have the power to initiate. I'll bring initiatives. I'll have watchdogs. A system, you just don't leave it loose like that. It needs control. We will broaden our perspective. We'll broaden the horizon of our approach when it comes to governance. Too many things are happening around the world. But all we do in Africa, especially Gambia, all we do is borrow money. A money that does not reflect in the lives of people. Rent is expensive. Food is expensive. There is no control. Everything is just loose. Simply because there is no control. We are not animals, we are human beings.
Yes. Let's also turn to another important sector. You briefly spoke about it. That's the security sector. You talked about the security situation. But in terms of a young government, a young administration, what exactly would be your program in positioning the country's security sector? You have the army. I mean, Jammeh was here. You can see that these new government came and said, okay, the security institutions were bastardized, were abused. We need to bring in reforms. What would a young government do when you win in 2021, December?
Actually, you see, in terms of security, the army has a role to play. It's called, they have the AOR, the Area of Responsibility. And we have the police. They also have the area of responsibility. We have the drug squad, they have the area of responsibility. We have the immigration, they have their area of responsibility. And all these sectors across the board, they need synergy. Because you will see a certain areas like the border, you'll find immigration there, you'll find the police, you'll find the soldiers. They will synergize in that end. So we just look at all the parts of security that is affecting us, and we synergize to be able to energize. Right now, we're dealing with so many drug abuse. So many drugs are entering into this country. And there are certain areas who are responsible to fight drugs, but they just hang it on that area. Like, it's drug squad's business to fight drugs. No, it's everybody's business. The immigration, these drugs, they go through airports and borders. What are they doing? What are the intelligence doing? The law enforcement, all they do is look for the bad guys and catch them. But even catching the bad guys, there's corruption in it. We have scenarios where people arrest drugs and these drugs, they disappear. In the midst of the people that go to enforce the law. So all we do is we break things. We have the criminals.
Yes.
And we have the people abusing drugs. They have their own special program. And we have people who transport these drugs. That is the dealers. And we have people who are there to watch them. We engage these people in a form of a seminar, in a form of a summit, to be able to see what exactly the problems are. If the problem is money, they don't have enough equipment, or probably they are not paid well, they are not motivated. Yes. Let's just understand. But at the end of the day, the delivery is showing bad results. So we follow the problem to the root and see what is the root cause of the problem. That's why I told you my first 100 days is all about engagement and creating summits. I'll build an army. You know, I told you.
Summits are expensive, right? I'll spend a lot of money.
Actually,
on summits.
There will be money. If we spend enough money on things that will give us ease in the long run, it's worth it. But I'll have advisors around me. You know, I told you that within the first 100 days, I will do certain things. Part of it is State House is going to operate 24 hours a day.
What do you mean by that? What State House in this world operates 24 hours? What State House does that?
The White House.
But the White House only
because they have issues.
Only a few people will stay. You know, that would only be.
What's your quantification of few?
No, only.
If we have a situation, we will take the extra miles.
But even in the Gambia, that happens. Only a few staff, the security will be there.
Let me explain.
Certain staff would still be in the office.
Let me explain what I want to do.
Yes. What do you want to do?
You see, I was talking to a friend of mine. He works, not a friend, but an uncle. He works at Quadrangle. Yes. He say people will come to work at 10 o'clock in the morning, 10. Mm-hmm. And before 2 o'clock or after 2 o'clock prayers, you see them going home. Before 4 o'clock, yes, the whole Quadrangle is empty. You will not find a single human being, only the watchman. Everybody is gone, from the minister, the permanent secretary, people in the office, everybody's gone home. Because there's nothing on the table to do. I'm going to engage and keep everybody busy. And they're human beings, they will burn out. I'll let them go home and I'll have extra people. This will give me the chance to employ more Gambians. People who are ready to take the extra miles and work in the night. They'll prepare for it. We have security that go and sit, at our doors and spend the whole night working. You find it in the West. People who are living in the West, they know what I say. They go for night shifts. It's doable. We have a situation. We need to take the extra miles. If we take the extra miles, before 5 years, we'll be able to do a lot. Because we have a lot to build. There are a lot of things that are broken. Gambians, their hopes are shattered. I saw someone I was talking to. I asked her to go and look for a voter's card. She said, there's no use me getting a voter's card. Because all their hopes are shattered. She asked me the question, whom am I going to vote for? What progress will they bring?
But didn't you tell her that you are running for office?
I ended up convincing her. Only through listening to her cry, understanding where she came from. Her heart, I listened to her heart, and I was able to counsel her and show her the light that we all are responsible. What is responsible? Two words are in responsible. Responsible. We all are able to respond to our current situation, to our circumstances. It's responsibility. Responsibility. The ability to respond to what? The circumstances around us. Psycho-emotionally, mentally, physically, economically. Yes. We are strong people. We are not weak. Are we going to run away and be refugees in other people's hands?
What do you have for the country's healthcare?
Actually, the current healthcare system is it's heartbroken. And looking at the whole primary healthcare, basic primary healthcare, it's a problem. Yeah. And when it comes to doctors and nurses, they are not motivated. In the sense that I'll give them thumbs up. They are patriots. They sacrifice a lot. But they are not motivated because of tools that they should use to enhance their work. We don't have a problem per se with our health sector because we have people that have knowledge, because it's a knowledge-based institution. They graduate and get there. With human lives, you don't joke with it. We have people who are technically competent that are there. So it's easy. All we do is prioritize our expenditures. Instead of spending money on government vehicles, we spend on equipment and medication, and we decentralize. People come from the village right here. I picked up my uncle from Kuntaur, who was sick. I have to bring him all over to Banjul. He lost his life because the journey was too vigorous. He was very sick, simply because we only have Banjul as a referral. Fully equipped in a country that these days I've been driving on the road, seeing a car. Gambia government, GG. When I Googled the car, that car is costing almost a couple of thousands of euros. Just one government vehicle. Look how expensive these vehicles are. Whilst we don't have basic things in the hospital. It's heartbroken. Where are our priorities? Where's our conscience? Where's our feelings? Where's our fear of God? Where's our consciousness of judgment? Both religions preach Judgment Day. We all have to face God, and every dime that you take illegally, you will be accounted for it. You might not be seen or held in this world, but we have the hereafter. We have to be conscious of ourselves.
Mr. Jan, were you an imam before?
Actually, I'm still an imam.
You do that, so how are you going to mix that with politics?
That's my religion. You can never separate religion from politics, like you cannot separate the soul from the body. They go together.
So they are intertwined.
Come on, man.
Because someone might be out there and be like, okay, what is imams? I mean, you need to make people understand this. What is an imam's business in politics? It's a very strange society where people think that the imam should only be in the mosque.
Actually,
now there is an imam.
Actually,
who wants to run for president.
imam means leader. Who leads prayers? Even you are an imam. If you are qualified to lead prayers, actually, I am imam at the present, Mile 2 Central Prisons, because after my visiting there back in 2005, I saw the need of spiritual development in that confinement.
Yes.
As a Muslim, I gave myself, because I studied the Quran. Like I went to school and studied. That's how I studied the Quran and knew my God. So that's my spiritual contribution. This is my political contribution. And I'm contributing socially. Every single human being should know yourself spiritually, socially, economically, and you do your own quota and your contribution. As for my imamat, depends on whoever is out there, how they take it. But that's my religion. And I'm proud of it. I'm proud of my religion. And I love Allah. And I don't hide it. Because that's my power. That's the only thing that can be in me that will make me sincere and sincerely do things for the sake of Him, God.
Really, I think imams in this country are well trusted. Really, these are people that almost everybody pray behind. I mean, if they have their funerals, if they have their ngentes, these are the people that they rely on. So imams are really, really well trusted in this country. Well trusted people, and now we have you, coming out, and I think people should really rely on that to be able to trust you. But away from that, let's talk about that is this voter registration exercise that started. I mean, it's getting closer. Mm-hmm. The day of reckoning, if you like, for politicians in this country is very near. Mm-hmm. December. Mm-hmm. IEC, as a result, IEC is busy registering Gambian voters, at least 1 million people. That is what the IEC is looking at. Mm-hmm. What is your take on the exercise, on the process? I'm sure you must have been going around. What have you seen? People say minors today, people are making a lot of noise online saying minors are being registered as a political leader. What have you been saying or hearing?
Actually, what I saw on the ground, I've seen effectiveness and efficiency, and I would give thumbs up to the civil society organizations. I myself, I met one Mr. Philip Sen. You know, they have an organization that is monitoring the process. You know, so I feel that it's in safe hands. You know, and probably some mistakes might occur, and human beings make mistakes. And I'm not going to point fingers or blame anyone. I think right now I am more busy with, you know, people, hearts and minds, than busy myself with what process goes on out there. Because at the end of the day, it's just Gambians with conscience, you know, and they have hearts. And if they are true to themselves, you know, they know what they are doing, that they are not doing it to probably us. They're doing it to themselves because they are part of this country. Whatever contributions they make, positive or negative, it either goes to our favor or against our favor. So I don't think they are dumb enough to do things that will jeopardize them in general, because the election process is going to decide the future of this country, the future which they belong, and all of us, and our children and the posterity.
What do you make of the participation of NPP, the party that is in power, or at least the party that is the president's party? I mean, this is going to be one of the biggest stakeholders in this December election. I mean, in Africa, people will always say incumbent also always have the upper hand. I mean, you are challenging the incumbent. I mean, what are you seeing? Are you comfortable?
Actually, I don't see the size of the party or the name of the party. To me, power is not outside. Power is inside. It depends on the power of their mind. I'm a good listener. If their philosophy is strong enough and their intention for this country is strong enough, this is how I rate their size, not in numbers. 2016, the former president, who was more powerful than him, what happened? He lost the elections.
So you are not bothered about that?
I'm not bothered about size. I don't fear. I'm in the game. I'm in the game not to play it, but to change the game.
By the way, did you bring to the attention of the IEC your plan to run for president?
Of course I did.
What did they tell you?
As an independent candidate, I have certain criteria to meet. And in November, when we go for nomination, they will recognize me as a candidate. But as for my intention, I am free to disclose my intention and engage, but not to do rallies.
How about the criteria? Are you also going to put up 1 million?
Actually, whatever the criteria are there, financially, physically, mentally, I am prepared.
You are prepared.
Whatever is there for me.
That brings me to the size of your pocket, because politics in Africa, in Gambia included, I mean,
actually, I don't see the relevance of this interview for me to disclose the size of my pocket.
Of course, but
at the end of the day, what is this going to do to the hearts and the minds of the people? It's not part of my programs and policies. I think the best thing I should discuss here in such platforms is the programs and policies I have. Nobody will get up and take this path without being prepared, financially, mentally, emotionally. Everybody that takes this path, this is no joke.
I think that is the answer.
I
think that is the answer, because it's no joke, and I mean, this is established. The issue of money, even if you go to the United States, their last election was one of the most expensive elections that could ever happen in that country.
Do you know why?
What was the reason?
Do you know why?
What was the reason?
It's because
I think it's
people,
just the times.
It's because people think down the line of money in this day and age. But as for me, I don't have money in my mind. I can develop a mind strong enough.
But if you want to do something,
I can develop a mind strong enough to attract that money.
Yeah.
Money is just means. Money is just means. Money is means to the ends.
Exactly.
But not the ends. It's a tool.
Yes.
I will take it when I need it, and there will be enough to do what I have to do. And what I am focusing on is the hearts and the minds of the people. Because money, like I always say,
yes,
is not going to solve our problems. Because yes, if money was to solve problems of mankind, you look at the economies of the world, outside the world, the United States, UK, they have very strong economies, a lot of money, but are their problems solved?
I know we have run out of time. We've gone a little over 1 hour, but let me ask you quickly about this. Your activities. I know you want to formally declare your candidacy
on the 12th June.
On the 12th of June.
Yeah.
But in terms of your activities, what are some of the things that you would be engaged in the interim?
Actually, in the interim, all I do is engage, meet, talk, initiate. We have an initiative very soon that we will launch. It's hashtag something has to be done in connection with alcohol and drugs, which I'm going to do it with the ghetto youth. I got approached.
The ghetto youth, I don't want them to come after me, but they rely on these things too much. So if you want
they don't rely on it.
If you want to take that from them,
I can speak for them. They don't rely on it. You see, there is this song I used to listen to by Buju Banton. He says, "Circumstances made me who I am." You have very good people that are out there. Yeah, I even don't like to call them ghetto youths. The ghetto does not exist. It's just a group of people who are frustrated with the system, who just don't know where to go, who found themselves in the midst of that rubble and
yes,
that trouble.
Yes.
There's no human being on the face of the earth who finds it cool to be drunk or to go high. Because we all have the experience. It's not a cool experience. Physically, it damages you. Psychologically, it damages you. Economically, it ruins you. Socially, it ruins you. You don't have a life. And everybody wants a life. I love them because I know what they're going through.
So one of your activities would be to engage them to ending alcohol and
we are already
cannabis abuse in the country.
We are already engaging them. We want to engage them, to educate them. You see, there was this time I went to Talib, the mayor.
Yes.
We had this conversation, and we were talking, and he was complaining about waste management, and that he put bins all around the KSMD, and there was this time that he was driving around, someone was standing beside the bin, was eating. When he finished, he threw what he was, the remains of what he was eating, down instead of the bin.
Yes.
I told him,
is it okay?
I told him, sir, you should have put the bin in the minds of the people before you put it in the streets. I want to put the ill effects of alcohol and drug abuse in their minds. They themselves will make the decision.
Someone is watching. It looks like people want to really know you. Someone is watching the interview and sent me a message. His message is he wants to know whether you were a rapper or singer before.
Actually, my first career was rap music.
You did that?
Yeah.
I think I remember those days.
In high school.
In high school? Cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what motivated me is my dad is a fan of Bob Marley. And every morning when he's going to work, he would stand at the mirror, you know, singing the songs of Bob Marley with the Bob Marley tunes, Consciousness. So I, as a young person growing up, I used to be very smart when I was going to school.
Yes.
I used to pick up the lyrics of Bob Marley, and I would sit down and, you know, trying to be my own Bob Marley in a sense. And so I grew up with that revolution mind.
Yes.
So when I was growing up, I gained this maturity. I started to see the world and started to relate the information. I say, man, let me just pick up the mic and, you know, do my own revolution. You know what I mean? So that's how we started. We started rap music in the Gambia, you know, writing our own songs and, you know, putting the dub and, you know, jumping here and there. And it was a learning curve for me. But I spent a short time in it. Then I diverted to go and memorize the Quran.
That was. Do you have any final, like, I mean, people are watching, you can look into the camera and really talk to Gambians and tell them why Babukar Jeng. Sometimes your name is a problem for me to pronounce. Sometimes I would say Abubakar. So sometimes you will always notice that.
You see, Abubakar is from Markas.
That's Markas.
Babukar is from home, Serekunda and Banjul. Actually, my final say, I will read from Thomas Paine.
Okay.
If you would allow me.
Of course, you can do that.
This is very inspiring. If people, very soon my website will be up. You will find this information there.
All right. Okay.
And I would want every Gambian to pay attention for this, and you get it in your mind.
Go on.
The authority of Great Britain over this continent is a form of government which sooner or later must have an end. And a serious mind can draw no true pleasure by looking forward under the painful and positive conviction that what he calls the present constitution is merely temporary. As parents, we can have no joy knowing that this government is not sufficiently listening, it's not sufficiently lasting to ensure anything which we may bequeath to posterity. And by a plain method of argument, as we are running the next generation into debt, we ought to do the work of it. Otherwise, we use them meanly and pitifully. In order to discover the line of our duty rightly, we should take our children in our hand and fix our station a few years further into life. That eminence will present a prospect which a few present fears and prejudices conceal from our sight. Though I would carefully avoid giving unnecessary offense, yet I am inclined to believe that all those who All those who espouse the doctrine of reconciliation may be included within the following descriptions: interested men who are not to be trusted, weak men who cannot see, prejudiced men who will not see, and a certain set of moderate men who think better of the European world than it deserves. And this last class, by an ill-judged deliberation, will be the cause of more calamities in this continent than the other three.
Do you have a
This was from Thomas Paine.
Thomas Paine.
The book is called The Common Sense. Yes. He revolutionized the mind of the Americans. And the founding fathers of the United States, they changed their minds until what United States is now. Right now, we have a situation and we have a condition. And it's up to us to start changing the mindsets, the way we think. And the way we think, when it changes, the way we do things will change. And the way we do things, when they change, we'll have a good results. Thank you very much.
Mr. Baboucarr Jeng, thank you once again for coming to our studios today to talk to us about your plans there to run for president. And good luck. Good luck with the campaign and also with the election.
Actually, I don't believe in lucks. I believe that luck is when determination meets preparation.
Well, then that is luck. Then you believe in luck because you have your own definition.
I don't call it.
You
luck.
have your own definition of luck, so that is luck. Thank you very much for coming once again. That will bring us to the end of the show today. Thank you for being there. Really, we will be back next week. Until then, I'm Lamin Jai.